Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. He is Harrison Graham, simulcasting on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel as well, getting you caught up with everything that San Francisco has done so far in NFL free agency, including a deal that happened late last night. 49ers have signed punt returner, kick returner, gadget guy, wide receiver Ray Ray McCloud, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, to a 2-year deal. We'll break that down here in just a few moments. But first, I want all of the Niner fans to get into the comment section right now and grade the signing for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Harrison, your quick takeaways about San Francisco signing Ray Ray McCloud. I think he could really help in this offense and boost the special teams unit, which last year was 26th in the NFL.
This feels like a Shanahan, like, oh, I could maximize this guy, right? He's electric in space, jet sweeps, return guy, drag routes. I'm excited to see what Kyle Shanahan can do with this guy in this offense. I like this move by San Francisco quite a bit. And by the way, I think it's 2 years, $10 million. Have we gotten those details?
It's about 2 years, $10 million. Yeah, we'll break that down here in just a
it's a 2-year deal for Ray Ray McCloud. But those are my initial takeaways. I think he's a guy that Kyle Shanahan feels like he can max out, and I'm excited to see what his role is in this offense.
Yeah, so you take a look at Ray Ray McCloud, played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and really emerged the last couple of years as a very good punt returner and kick returner. He's actually the leading punt returner in the NFL from a year ago. You take a look at his return numbers for Pittsburgh. He was fantastic last year. These numbers from 2021, 38 punt returns, average yards per punt return, Harrison, just shy of 10, first in the National Football League, 35 kick returns, average yards per kick return of north of 22, which is a really good number. League average about 18 to 20, but that's not all that he can do. He can also thrive and flourish as a wide receiver, and he goes from a stagnant, really methodical offense with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, who was washed last year, to an offensive mastermind, an offensive genius in Kyle Shanahan, one of the best young coaches in the NFL. And I think Ray Ray McCloud sees his potential in this offense as being astronomical. Now, you take a look at the receiving numbers last year. They were lower, but I expect them to maybe increase this year, and he can do more for San Francisco than just return punts and kicks. 66 targets, 39 receptions, 277 yards, average yards per catch of 7.1. But I'm really intrigued by this Ray Ray McCloud signing for San Francisco for a couple of reasons. I'm intrigued by Ray Ray McCloud because I think he adds a really good element for one of the worst special teams units last year in the NFL, as San Francisco was sitting around 26. He can certainly add a spark there. But in Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think that he sees that he can be a great fit and be more of a contributor than he's been in years past with the Pittsburgh Steelers because of Kyle Shanahan's creativity with calling plays to put the ball in the hands of Ray Ray McCloud on bubble screens, on jet sweeps, on crossing routes. So for that reason, I think this is a potential high upgrade signing for San Francisco on special teams. Then he can add a spark on the offensive side of the football as well and be that gadget guy in this offense that San Francisco hasn't really had. And if you want to send him down the seam as a slot wide receiver, you can do that. If you want to put him out wide, he can really stretch the field vertically. I think on a 2-year, $10 million deal for San Francisco, this could end up being a steal. That's why I'm intrigued by the idea. Now, are you a fan of the Ray Ray McCloud signing for the 49ers? If so, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Show up, show out, and let us know if you get down with Ray Ray. And also, while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Been pushing out multiple videos per day all throughout NFL free agency, and this is what we do because we give you free daily news and rumors videos 7 days a week, red and gold till we're dead and cold.
Can I get one more thought on this McLeod signing?
Go ahead.
Marinate, all week long, you had been saying, man, I'd like to get a guy like Jakeem Grant in here. This is kind of that, right? Like elite return specialist, a guy who probably 2 to 3 games this year, he'll make a game-changing play on offense. Like, he's not going to be a guy that every game has an impact offensively, but there will be a couple times this upcoming year where you're like, man, dude, that play Ray Ray McCloud, that changed the game. Like, he's that type of guy because he's that explosive, and that's really what you're looking for with this type of player. Like, this isn't going to be a guy that catches 80 passes by any means, but can he impact 2, 3, 4 games, be a good return specialist for you? That's kind of what you're bringing on board in Ray Ray McCloud.
With what the Niners have done up until this point in NFL free agency, they've been somewhat silent, and they've made medium-level splash signings, but I actually like what they've done. look, this is a team that made it into the Final Four last year. They were a couple plays away from making it to their second Super Bowl in 3 years. It's not like they're undergoing a roster rebuild and they have to completely overhaul this roster.
No.
Yes, they've let some players go, but that speaks to the development that the 49ers coaching staff has been able to bring the best out of these players, and they set themselves up nicely where they thrive and play really well for San Francisco. Then they get paid elsewhere. They really play themselves out of affordability for San Francisco. But why do I like what the Niners have done so far? Young signings, and I think all of these players are emerging and can become very good players. Charvarius Ward is only 25 years old. Hassan Ridgeway, as a rotational defensive tackle, as your DJ Jones replacement, is 27 years old. Ray Ray McCloud, I think his best football is ahead of him at age 25, and then Oren Burks at age 26. So not only from an age perspective are the Niners bringing in young players and not old, injury-prone wash players, they're also putting a focus on special teams, which last year was one of the worst in the NFL in coverage and in terms of returns. So the 49ers really prioritizing all of those aspects throughout this NFL offseason period, and I think that the Niners have some moves to be made in the future as well. These are young, affordable players with upside. The Niners have been fiscally smart with a lot of these contracts, and for that reason, I like what they've done, and I still think that once the Jimmy Garoppolo trade happens, that sets the foundation for everything else to ensue during the offseason for the Niners. Now, the NCAA tournament is in full swing. We here at Chat Sports have been watching these games while grinding, talking about the latest NFL news and rumors. And if you want to lay down some bets for the NCAA tournament, you can do so. A couple of brackets already busted, like how about Kentucky going down to St. Peter's last night? Chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125 for a 125% deposit bonus.
Now, Doug Key had added this as well. This is pretty interesting, Chase. The Bears, 49ers, Colts, Texans, Patriots, and Raiders are among the teams who have reached out on available outside receivers. Obviously, the Raiders got Devontae Adams, so they're probably out on this. But have yet to make a splash. Eagles are expected to be involved. So if you're San Francisco, who fills that void if you're thinking about outside receivers that could be out there?
Well, the only receivers currently signed for next year for San Francisco, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Now Ray Ray McCloud enters the mix. Now, there have been a lot of rumblings over the last couple of weeks about the Niners' reported interest in Juju Smith-Schuster. He could play slot receiver in this offense. Ray Ray McCloud comes in from time to time as that aforementioned gadget guy. So Juju Smith-Schuster is a name to watch for the Niners. So too is Will Fuller, but I think he's way too injury prone. Do I like his game as a guy who can get up and down the field with some elite speed and take the top off of the defense? For sure. Jarvis Landry, another one of those Juju Smith slot receiver prototypes who got released by Cleveland. I think you can keep your eyes on him as well. He was working out with Deebo Samuel this week. Emmanuel Sanders, a former Niner who really played well for the Niners during that 2019 Super Bowl run, is on the open market. So too is Jamison Crowder. Now, if the Niners do make a signing, we have you covered right here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports as we continue to grow and really just cater to our audience, which is the faithful, and pushing out free daily videos covering all things with the Niners all year round. YouTube.com/49ers TV, or hit that big subscribe button down below.